You can't out-crunch a shit diet. You've heard it before, right? Well, there's another thing that's even more fundamental than that, and that's sleep. It's not sexy, it's not exciting, but it's crucial for progress. Your daily calorie intake matters, but if you don't sleep enough, it's like flushing money down the toilet. Let's break it down. When you sleep, your body releases something called growth hormone, which aids in muscle repair and growth. It also helps regulate other hormones like insulin, making it easier to manage your hunger and metabolism. The bottom line, sleep deprivation messes with your hormones, making it harder to stick to a diet and workout plan. You'll likely feel hungrier, crave sugary foods, and have less energy to exercise. In simple terms, think of sleep as the fundamental pillar that supports your entire progress. Without it, no amount of calorie counting or exercise is going to get you the results you want. Here's a little experiment. Imagine you have two groups of people. Both groups are identical twins, meaning they have the same genetic makeup. They both follow the exact same diet and workout plan, but there's a catch. One twin in each pair gets only 5 hours of sleep per night, while the other gets 8 hours. Who do you think will see better results? The answer is obvious. The twin with 8 hours of sleep will likely build more muscle and burn more fat. Their body will recover better from workouts, their metabolism will be more stable, and they'll simply make better food choices because their hormones are better regulated. To put it bluntly, not sleeping enough is like pouring water into a cup that's already full. Any extra water just spills on the table, and that's exactly what happens with the excess calories you consume. They spill over into fat storage instead of being used for energy or muscle repair. Sleep helps your body process and store nutrients properly, ensuring that every calorie you consume contributes to your progress rather than becoming body fat. So here's the deal. If you want to achieve your fitness goals, sleep must be a top priority. Aim for 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep each night. That means no all-nighters, no phone scrolling in bed, and no excuses. Here's a quick look at how sleep affects key factors related to your progress. Muscle protein synthesis, aka the process of building muscle, decreases by 10 to 40% with sleep restriction. On the flip side, muscle protein breakdown increases with sleep deprivation, leading to muscle loss. The result? A negative nitrogen balance. Not good for muscle growth. Fat loss, lack of sleep, can lead to an increase in the hunger hormone ghrelin and a decrease in the satiety hormone leptin. This combo makes you feel hungrier and more likely to overeat. So how much should you be sleeping? Most adults need 7 to 9 hours, but some individuals may require more or less. It's all about finding what works best for you. To improve your sleep quality, establish a consistent sleep schedule, create a relaxing bedtime routine, and ensure your bedroom is dark, quiet, and cool. We're just getting started. There are more hidden culprits that could be slowing your progress. Stay tuned for the next part where we dive into distressing, because chronic stress can sabotage even the best laid plans. And yes, we'll also address overtraining, because sometimes too much of a good thing can indeed be a problem. Don't miss out. It's time to clear up a little confusion about building muscle. Because here's the deal. It isn't just about how hard you train. It's not about sweating buckets or destroying yourself every session. It's about balance. The big secret no one talks about: your body doesn't grow during your workouts, it grows between them. And most people either ignore that or completely underestimate it. You could be crushing workouts 5-6 days a week, but if your recovery game is trash, you're spinning your wheels. Overtraining, not sleeping enough, not eating right, all that adds up to stalled progress. It's not that you're not trying hard enough, it's that your body doesn't have what it needs to adapt and get better. Think about it like this. If you're constantly hitting a muscle that's still recovering, you're just tearing it down over and over without giving it a chance to rebuild. On the flip side, if you wait too long between sessions, you miss out on that growth window where your body is primed to level up. The trick is learning to hit that sweet spot where training and recovery line up perfectly. So let me break it down for you. First, let's talk about training. There are two main factors that determine how much muscle you'll build: intensity and volume. Intensity is how hard you push yourself on each set, usually expressed as a percentage of your maximum effort. Volume is the total amount of work you do over a period of time, like a week or a month. It's the number of sets and reps you do. Now here's the thing. Both of these factors are important, but they affect muscle growth in different ways. Higher intensity, like when you're lifting heavy weights for 6 to 10 reps, really challenges your nervous system and muscle fibers. This leads to more strength and muscle growth in the first few months of starting to lift weights. But as you get more experienced, your body adapts. And at that point, upping the intensity doesn't make much of a difference. Instead, it's all about volume. Doing more reps with moderate weights challenges your muscles to a greater degree than higher intensity workouts. So once you've built a base level of strength, upping your volume is the key to breaking through plateaus. But there's a catch. Lifting heavier weights does come with a higher risk of injury. On the other hand, doing more reps is less taxing on your joints, so it's often recommended to start with heavier weights and fewer reps, focusing on proper form and gradually increasing the weight load. As you become more comfortable with the exercise, then switch to higher rep ranges to build endurance and really dial in those muscles. And that brings us to recovery. To make the most out of your workouts, you need to recover properly, and that means getting enough sleep, managing stress, staying hydrated, and eating a balanced diet with plenty of protein. These things might seem basic, but they're crucial. Sleep, for example, is when your body releases essential hormones like testosterone and human growth hormone. These hormones are vital for muscle repair and growth. Not getting enough sleep can significantly impact your results. Similarly, stress can hamper your progress by raising cortisol levels, which interferes with muscle growth. So if you're not getting enough sleep or are dealing with high stress, it doesn't matter how hard you're working out. Your body won't grow. That's why it's so important to find the right balance between training and recovery. When you push yourself hard in the gym, you create microscopic tears in your muscle fibers. Your body needs time to repair those tears and build new muscle in their place. If you don't give your body that time, you'll never see results. There are a couple of telltale signs that you're not giving your body enough time to recover. Constantly feeling sore. Not just the good kind of muscle soreness, but the kind that makes it hard to move. You're also losing strength. If you can't lift as much weight or do as many reps as you did before, it's a clear sign that you've overdone it. Finally, if you're getting injured a lot, that's a big red flag. The solution is simple. Take more rest days. Everyone needs at least 1 or 2 full rest days per week. But remember, rest doesn't mean complete inactivity. You can take rest days to do things like yoga or swimming, which will help you relax and recover without putting too much strain on your muscles. So there you have it. Building muscle is as much about what you do outside the gym as inside. If you want to see results, you have to put in the work both in the gym and outside. Train hard, but also give your body the rest it needs to recover. Only then will you truly reach your muscle building potential. Okay, let us dig into some key data points around training and recovery, because there are some misconceptions floating around out there and I want to clear them up. Let's start with this. Muscle growth basically comes down to 2 things: stimulus and recovery. You challenge your muscles with resistance. That's the stimulus. Your body responds by adapting, rebuilding stronger tissue. But here, set the kicker. The magic only happens if you give your body time to recover. No recovery. No growth. Period. Now, this next point might seem like a bit of a party foul, but I gotta tell you anyway. You don't actually build muscle in the gym. What happens in the gym is you do work. You stimulate your muscles. Then your body goes to work, repairing, rebuilding, adapting. That process takes time, sleep, calories, and patience. If you skip that step or rush it, you're not building. You're just breaking down. Think of it like this. Going to the gym is like sending your body to college. You're not going to get a degree in one night, right? Got to hit those books, put in the work, and come back for more. So when we talk about training and recovery, we're not just throwing around these random terms. We're talking about a serious biological process. Muscles go through cycles of breaking down and building up. It's a delicate dance, and your job is to make sure your muscles are up for it. Here's how it works. First, you train. By lifting weights, doing cardio, or even training for your sport, you're putting your body under stress. This stress causes microscopic tears in your muscle fibers. Sounds kind of scary, but it's actually a good thing. Those micro tears are like little injuries that your body needs to repair. While they're being repaired, your muscle fibers become stronger. Now, this process doesn't happen overnight. It takes several hours to days to complete. If you train again before your muscles have fully recovered from the last workout, you're basically making your muscles work on an injury. Not good. They're not going to get stronger, and you might even end up with an actual injury. That's why we emphasize the importance of rest. It's during this time that your body makes the repairs and rebuilds your muscles stronger than before. No. But what happens if you don't give your body enough time to recover? Say you're really motivated and you're working out every day, barely taking any rest. In theory, you're constantly challenging your muscles, which should lead to faster growth, right? Wrong. When you don't allow your muscles to recover, they send up a distress signal. Your central nervous system gets overloaded and can't effectively activate your muscles. The result? You get weaker and fatigue starts to creep in. So even though you're hitting the gym every day, your workouts start to suffer. You're stuck in a cycle where you feel tired, your lifts drop, and you might even start feeling some nagging injuries. This is a big reason why we see plateaus in performance. You're overtrained, so your body shuts down until you take a break. On the other hand, you might be thinking, okay, I get it. Rest is important. I need to recover. But what if I'm always recovered but not consistent in my training? What if I miss days in the gym without working out? If you're always fully recovered but not getting back in the gym consistently, you're wasting your adaptation window. When you lift weights, your body undergoes an acute response. During this phase, several things happen. Your heart rate and blood pressure rise, your muscles contract and relax rapidly, and your body releases various hormones. But after that initial response, things shift. Your body enters the adaptation phase, where it repairs and rebuilds your muscles stronger than before. This is where the gains happen. The problem is, this adaptation phase doesn't last forever. Your body has an adaptation window where it's primed to accept the stimulus you provide. If you don't get back in the gym within this window, that opportunity is lost. Your body returns to its previous state, and you have to start the whole process over again. So remember, finding that sweet spot between training and recovery is crucial. Just like Goldilocks and the Three Bears, you want to find that perfect balance. Too much training without enough recovery, and you'll burn out. Too much recovery and not enough training, and you'll miss out on building those gains. But strike that balance, hit the gym when your muscles are primed, recover properly, and watch your progress in the gym and your confidence in life go through the roof. You know, if you're new here, I'm a strength coach. And this is part 4 of our series on understanding training principles. So far we've covered sets, reps, rest periods, and we've talked about how to figure out what is best for you based on your goals and experience level. But today we're going to dig into another really important concept: training frequency. To keep things simple, training frequency is simply how often you train each muscle group. So for example, if you train chest, back, and legs on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, that means you're training each of those muscle groups once per week. Or if you train chest on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, that means you're training chest 3 times per week or 3 times per week. Got it? Good? Let's get into some examples. So let's look at a couple of different lifters. Lifter A crushes one massive chest workout every week. High volume, heavy weight, totally smoked by the end. They're sore for days, maybe even dragging that soreness into the next week. Lifter B, on the other hand, trains chest 3 times a week, but with lower volume per session. Shorter workouts, quicker recovery, more frequent stimulus. Guess what? Over time, they might both make progress. But B stays more consistent and avoids burnout. Now, if you've ever been stuck in a training plateau, or worse, an injury plateau, chances are you were doing something similar to you probably felt like you were making progress at first. Maybe your muscles were actually getting bigger, your lifts were going up, but then it just stopped. Regardless of how hard you pushed yourself, you just couldn't make any further progress. That's commonly known as a training plateau. It happens when the stress placed on your body simply isn't enough to trigger new adaptations. So let's take a step back and look at the lifters again. We know that lifter B will likely avoid a training plateau because they're reworking their chest more frequently. More frequent stimulation leads to better results. But what about lifter C? Well, C goes hard in the gym, but never really checks in with how their body feels. They train while still sore, they lift with bad form because they're fatigued, and their strength drops over time. They think they're grinding, but really they're just stuck. No recovery equals no progress. Simple as that. On the other hand, D tracks their workouts, monitors their soreness, adjusts when needed, and actually listens to their body. They train when they re-ready, not just when the calendar says it. S chest day. They're consistent, they recover well, and they show up stronger each week. The result? Real gains, steady progress, and way less frustration. And before you say, but I don't have time to train like D, let me stop you right there. Training like D doesn't mean you have to hit the gym more often. In fact, quite the opposite. It means being smart with your time so that you don't waste those precious training sessions. It also means listening to your body. Are you sore from last week's workout? Then take a few extra days to recover. Did you feel like crap at the gym today? Skip it and focus on getting healthy. Training like D is actually training smarter, not harder. So here's the takeaway. If you want to make real progress, stop ruining your training. Stop being the guy or girl who trains through soreness, who has horrible form, who has random days off, and who misses workouts without telling anyone. Because guess what? I know you. You might be thinking, I do that stuff. I'm actually the worst kind of lifter, right? But it's okay. You can change. Start being the person who tracks their workouts, who knows when they need to rest, who shows up on time, and who tells their friends when they're not feeling well, because that person makes progress. That person doesn't quit, and that person is who you should be. So if you enjoyed this video, drop me a comment, let me know what you thought. Share it with your friends. And make sure you resubscribed, because we've got a lot more great training videos coming your way. See you next time. Here's what we're left with after all that. Muscle growth isn't an accident. It's math. Basic math. Calories in versus calories out. Protein turnover rate. And the volume and intensity of your training. It all adds up. So let's talk about how to approach each of these factors. First, the math part. You can't out-crunch a shit diet. Your daily calorie intake plays a bigger role than you think. To build muscle, you need a slight surplus of calories, typically around 200 to 500 above maintenance. This extra energy is crucial for muscle repair and growth, but don't go overboard. Small surplus is all you need. Think of it like your car's fuel gauge. You wouldn't fill it up past the full tank, would you? Same thing. Don't overeat thinking it'll speed up the process. Quality over quantity always applies. Focus on nutrient-dense foods like lean proteins, fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. These provide the raw materials your body needs for muscle repair without the excess baggage of added fats or sugars. Second, protein turnover rate. Muscles are constantly breaking down and building up. It's a natural cycle. To support this, you need enough protein. Aim for at least 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. This helps with muscle repair and growth. Good sources include chicken breast, salmon, Greek yogurt, and plant-based options like tofu and lentils. Third, training volume. This is the total amount of work you put in. It includes the number of sets and reps you perform. More volume generally leads to more gains, but there's a sweet spot. Aim for around 10 to 20 sets per muscle group per week. This keeps your muscles challenged without overdoing it. Listen to your body's feedback. If you're consistently hitting new personal records, you might be ready for more volume. But if you're stuck or feeling burnt out, it's time to reassess. Fourth, training intensity. This is how hard you push yourself during workouts. For muscle growth, you want to be challenged. Aim for a level just beyond your comfort zone. How hard is that? Well, you should be able to complete between 8 to 12 reps before failure. Failure means you couldn't do another rep without compromising form. This intensity level ensures you're pushing your muscles to adapt and grow. Fifth, rest and recovery. Muscles don't grow during exercise. They grow when you rest. After a tough workout, your body needs time to repair and rebuild. Aim for 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night. This is when most of the recovery magic happens. Sleep helps clear waste products from your muscles, which aids in faster recovery. It also boosts testosterone levels, which is essential for muscle growth. And finally, consistency. None of this matters if you're inconsistent. Your age, genetics, lifestyle, and previous training experience all play a role in your muscle growth journey. It's a highly individual process. What worked for someone else might not work the same for you. So find what clicks with you and stick to it. Consistency is key. So here's the bottom line. If you want to build muscle, it's not just about going hard. It's about going smart. Train with intention, recover with purpose, and stay consistent. It's not sexy, but it works. Forget the no days off hype. You grow when you train hard and recover hard. That's the real formula. Remember, more isn't always better. If you're sore, weak, or feeling beat down, your body's telling you something. Listen to it. And if you're waiting around too long, letting your momentum fade, that's a missed opportunity. The real gains come when you hit that rhythm. Challenge, rest, repeat. If this video helped make things clearer, do me a favor. Hit that like button. Drop a comment below with your thoughts or questions. And don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. We've got plenty more breakdowns, tips, and strategies coming your way. Till next time, train smart, recover strong, and keep growing.